G'day and welcome everyone to this comprehensive explainer on Australia's Tourist Refund Scheme, or as it's pretty much always called, the TRS. So if you're gearing up to leave Australia soon and you're thinking about claiming back some of that hard-earned cash you spent on the goods and services tax, that's the GST, or the wine equalization tax, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to break this whole thing down step by step so you know precisely what you need to do long before you even set foot in the airport. Just a really quick heads up before we get into the weeds, this channel and the specific guide are purely for discussion and illustration purposes. It's definitely not meant to be taken as personal, legal, or financial advice. We always highly recommend seeking out a professional who can look at your own unique circumstances. And hey, while we're just getting started, take a quick second to hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this explainer. Got a thought or a question? Drop a comment below. We really love chatting with our community, and we always make it a priority to respond to our loyal subscribers. All right, here is our game plan for today. 1. TRS eligibility rules. 2. Generating your QR code. 3. A quick mid-guide check-in. 4. Airport process and restrictions. 5. Returning to Australia rules. And 6. Our final sign-off. Let's get into it. Section 1. TRS eligibility rules explained. What you need before you pack. Okay, the absolutely crucial magic number here is $300. You have got to spend a minimum of 300 Australian dollars, including the GST, in total from a single supplier. Now, you really need to pay close attention to this part. That means the supplier must have the exact same Australian business number, or ABN, registered to collect GST. Next up is your time limit, which is exactly 60 days. You can totally make several different purchases over different days to hit that $300 mark. That's fine, but every single one of those goods has to be bought within exactly 60 days of your departure from Australia. If you bought something 65 days ago, yeah, unfortunately, it's totally ineligible for the TRS. Now, let's talk paperwork, because there are some really strict tax invoice rules you have to follow. You need a valid paper tax invoice, and it must be in English. The Australian Border Force does not mess around here. They will absolutely reject photographs, photocopies, or duplicate invoices. If a store emailed you an electronic invoice, you have to print a physical hard copy to bring with you. The invoice needs a brief description of what you bought, the purchase date, the retailer's name, their address, and their ABN, along with the actual GST amount you paid. And listen, here is a massive trap for young players. If your invoice is for $1,000 or more, it has to feature your name only, and it has to match your passport exactly. If someone else's name is on it, it's just not going to be accepted. Period. Section 2. Generating your QR code. Speeding up your claim with TRS apps. So you actually have a few options to make this easier on yourself. You can jump on your computer and use the web app, which is called My TRS Claim, or you can just download the official mobile apps. They're right there on Google Play for Android and the Apple App Store for iOS. It is highly, highly recommended to use these tools to store your invoice info before you travel. It's really straightforward. First, you're going to enter your travel details. Second, you punch in the details of the specific goods you're claiming. Third, you pick exactly how you want to receive your refund. And fourth, you generate and save your QR codes. But let me be super clear about this one thing. Simply generating a QR code does not actually lodge your claim. It just packages up your details into a code that gets scanned at the TRS facility so you aren't standing there filling out forms forever. Which brings us to a huge tip. It is absolutely imperative that you print those generated QR codes, along with any electronic invoices, before you head off to the airport or seaport. Why? Because, well, technology happens. Scanners might go down or just aren't available at the TRS facilities that day. Having a physical printed backup means you won't get turned away at the very last second. Section 3. Mid-guide check-in. Support the channel. Real quick, if you're finding this explainer valuable so far, do us a huge favor and hit subscribe for more immigration and visa guides just like this. Smash that like button, and if you're still confused about anything TRS related, drop a comment below. We genuinely want to help you get this right. Section 4. Airport process and restrictions. Navigating the departure terminal. When it comes to the TRS, timing is literally everything. If you're at an airport, you have to claim at least 30 minutes before your flight's scheduled departure. If you're leaving via seaport, you've got a window of 1 to 4 hours prior to departure.
Also, keep in mind, domestic airports, completely ineligible. Oh, and for you cruise ship passengers out there, your claim has to be lodged at your absolute last port of departure from Australia. Think about it like this. If you board a cruise in Sydney, but the ship stops in Brisbane and then Cairns before finally hitting international waters, Cairns is the place you have to lodge that claim. And lastly, you have to do this in person on the exact day you depart.
So let's look at what's actually eligible versus what's going to get rejected. You can claim goods that you are physically carrying on board with you. Wine is eligible, provided the alcohol content is under 22%. And yes, goods you bought with a gift card are fine too. But take a look at the restricted list. You cannot claim tobacco, dangerous goods like gas cylinders, or unaccompanied freight. And this is a big one. You cannot claim goods that have been wholly or even partly consumed while you were in Australia. So no claiming opened perfumes or half-eaten chocolates. And you absolutely cannot claim for services. Your hotel, your Uber, your rental car, none of that counts. All right, when you finally step up to that Australian Border Force client services counter, you need to have this exact stack of items ready to go. Your passport, your boarding pass, those original paper tax invoices we talked about, your printed QR code from the app, and, this is critical, the actual goods themselves. The officers literally have to physically match the item in your hand to the piece of paper. Now, you might be wondering, what if I bought something massive, like a surfboard or a bunch of liquids that I'm just not allowed to take in my carry-on? This rule is vital. Oversized or restricted goods must be cited by the Australian Border Force before you check in your luggage. If you just go ahead and check your bags first and then wander over to the TRS counter, your claim is going to be denied immediately because you can't show them the goods. Don't make that mistake. Section 5. Returning to Australia rules. Legal obligations upon re-entry. Let me pose a really interesting question. What actually happens if you take your TRS claimed goods, let's say a brand new expensive laptop or a nice watch, and you bring them back into Australia on a future trip? It's a super common scenario, but the border laws on this are incredibly strict. Basically, if you or even someone else brings goods back into the country that someone already claimed a TRS refund on, you absolutely have to declare them. When you're sitting on the plane filling out that little incoming passenger card, you must tick yes and declare those goods at question 3. And here is exactly why that matters. If the total value of those returning TRS goods, when combined with any other overseas or duty-free purchases you made, ends up exceeding your passenger concession allowance, you might actually have to pay back the GST or duty. The ABF doesn't take this lightly. Significant financial penalties can apply if you try to slip through and fail to declare these items. So, long story short, always be completely honest on your passenger card. Section 6, Final Sign-Off. Thank you for watching. Well, there you have it. We've covered the eligibility rules, the strict invoice requirements for those high-ticket items, how to use the apps to generate your QR code, the physical process at the airport, and your legal obligations if you ever decide to bring those items back into the country. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you're feeling confident and ready to tackle the tourist refund scheme, please subscribe to Australia Visa Immigration Discussion. Give this guide a thumbs up and don't hesitate to leave a comment if you need a hand with anything. Before you click away, I've got one final question for you. What's the very first major item you plan to claim on your next trip out of Australia? Let me know down in the comments. Stay organized, travel safe, and I will catch you in the next explainer.